Welcome, fight fans, to Boxing Scene's top stories here on ProBox TV, your boxing channel. I am George DeMatteis, and I'm joined by two of the best in the business. We got Chris Algieri and Paulie Malignaggi joining us here on Top Stories. Well, a big fight this weekend at 154. Vergil Ortiz will be going up against SERHII BOHACHUK, and these two are very familiar with each other from their time as sparring partners in training, over 50 rounds against each other. But at the final press conference before the fight, Vergil Ortiz Jr. refused to shake hands of BOHACHUK. Now, he did go later on Twitter to clarify. But Chris, is it a little bit out of character for Vergil Ortiz to not shake BOHACHUK's hand, considering the character of Vergil Ortiz in the past?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially for a guy like Vergil, who's generally been very, very respectful, even on Twitter, where a lot of fighters really get out of pocket. You know, Vergil is one of those guys who's really stuck to his guns and his script as being a respectful guy. I'm sure he has a lot of respect for BOHACHUK as well, but that is certainly a sign of disrespect, not shaking his hand. I'm going to look at it from a certain perspective, because they used to be former sparring partners. They've sparred a number of rounds together. I could see Vergil taking that as, I got to draw a line in the sand. You know, we spent time together, we sparred together, we punch each other in the face in the gym together. We've helped each other out. That's over. We're not on the same side anymore. So that could be a sign that he's showing you that this is serious now. This is business. That was sparring. This is fight night. This is my career. And putting himself into that dark space that fighters need to get into, especially a guy like Vergil. I felt like that oftentimes in my own career, that I'm generally a nice guy. I like to fight. I like to hurt people, but I needed to put myself into a certain place in order to be able to tap into that energy. So I could see maybe Vergil, that's where his head is at. And he's looking at this like, all right, this is the real deal now. Just because you feel comfortable saying you can fight me because we sparred, that's over now. This is a real fight. So it's a very interesting dynamic to how you can look at that, because it is so foreign for Vergil to kind of act that way. But it's just another caveat that makes this fight that interesting.
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback off you, champ. It really is something that our co-analyst Teddy Atlas likes to say. What about the attitude of a fighter? And that's really what it boils down to for me. Yes, you make a lot of great points. They've been sparring partners. They've helped each other out. Possibly, who knows? Maybe BOHACHUK may have said some things about the sparring sessions. We don't know. What kind of grumblings, gossipy stuff go on behind the scenes. Maybe BOHACHUK says, I was getting the better of him. Again, this is all hypotheticals, but nonetheless, the attitude of a fighter is, especially when you're a young phenom coming up the ladder. You brought up your own example. I bring up my own example too. I was very rarely a friendly guy in the first half of my career. Second half of my career, I lightened up a little bit. At times, I would shake hands at the press conference. Only at times, it depended. But especially when you're a phenom coming up the ladder, you're a touted prospect like Vergil Ortiz is. I can remember the feeling of being a 20-something coming up the ladder, or even early in world title reigns. Where there wasn't a lot of friendly stuff. You're so competitive and you're so out there to be the best. You're so determined to be the best that you don't care about being the bad guy. Because in reality, you can be a nice guy outside the ring, but you need the attitude of a fighter, and that's what I think this is about for Vergil Ortiz.
By the way, BOHACHUK's response was, sparring is sparring, fight is fight. It's different. Man, that is going to be a good one between Vergil Ortiz and SERHII BOHACHUK. Chris and Paulie, thank you very much for your time. We always appreciate you here on Top Stories. Don't forget to scan that QR code, like, subscribe, and comment on our YouTube channel as well. I am George DeMatteis, and this is Boxing Scene's Top Stories, only on ProBox TV, your boxing channel.
Wednesday Night Fights.
Dynamite action on Wednesday Night Fights every other Wednesday on your boxing channel.
Coming up on your next Wednesday Night Fights, August 21st. Former Unified World Champion Swift Jarrett Hurd takes on former Unified World Champion Jason Banana Rosario. Live from the ProBox Event Center in Plant City. Get your tickets at proboxtv.com or take your chances at the door. Wednesday Night Fights.
For more ProBox TV, scan the QR code on the screen or go to the App Store and Google Play. ProBox TV, your boxing channel.